Hello, Mama, and welcome back. Today, we're talking about a very important topic, I think, for mothers, and that is emotional regulation tools that are actually easy to use when things get hard. It's a topic, it's deeply personal because, of course, on one side, I'm teaching it, but also it's something I return to constantly myself. And while I was preparing this episode, I was also, what tools am I actually using? How much? So I want to give you a real life picture. I want to be also real what can be used. And it's also something when things get really, really hard to remember that these tools are available for you. And this is something I'm still working with because sometimes when things get really hard, you kind of just space out and forget all about it. And I actually have some post-its around the house to remind me that these tools are available to me. So, and then of course there's the second part. There is a season for everything. So some tools I will use for some time, and then it kind of gets a bit more in the background, and I will use different tools because I feel like they're not working or I don't feel like it, It's something kind of, you have to trust your intuition and your guide what works for you. And some surprise me what works and what doesn't. And some of them are so simple that it was like, can I even mention it? Is this even a tool? But I will. So let's dive straight into it. Today I'm sharing not the perfect system, but a real messy, evolving toolbox that I hope will help you too. And that's how I see it. It's a toolbox. So my kids are here in the pram. I think I need to move them a little bit, the younger ones. I decided to split this up in two different types of regulation tools that I'm using. The one I call the kind of the real life in the moment tools, and the ones where you actively work with your nervous system regulation tools. I'm going to start with the real life in the moment tools because I think they're really easy available to everyone. I mean, all of them are, but they're almost also easier to remind. And number one is to always go outside. It's my favorite tool. It's my number one tool. No matter if my kids are cranky and I feel my kids need to change an environment, or I feel I get moody, or we all are getting moody, going outside is always shifting energy. It's almost like you shift location, you shift energy, and then of course being outside in the daylight, it's always helping. So if we're stuck, overwhelmed, dysregulated, the whole family has to move outside. Nature is medicine. If you live in a city, going into a park, hugging a tree, tree hugging is a thing for a reason. Fresh air, movement, it always will work. I'm really lucky. I go outside. I'm straight in nature. We have a forest here. A minute I'm in the forest, I'm a minute away from a beautiful stone beach, just to collect stones, to put our hands and connect with the earth. It is wonderful. And yes, even in a city, find a park, find a patch of grass, and do what you can just to be outside and moving. Another one, if you can't go outside because maybe the weather is just too bad and it's even worse going outside and staying inside, I find putting music on and dance. This is a little bit, in a way, in my eyes, a tricky tool because it's easy to put music on and to dance when you're in a good mood. It takes a little bit of learning, I may say, or just remembering to really, if you're in a bad mood and you put cheerful music on, you will shift, but it doesn't feel that naturally when you feel grumpy to put joyful music on. So it's just something to kind of like remember, just do it, don't think about it, but it will always work. Yeah, so you might even then have a little shaking session and shake off whatever you feel, the resentment, the anger, the overwhelm. Dance with your kids. I love these tools because you can do them even when you're with your kids at home. This is not about you needing to separate for them or whatever. And it just discharges whatever is going on and you get a complete new reset. And singing, the same. So I haven't categorized it separately, music, singing. It's all the same. It helps you. Singing is particularly perfect because you can sing when you're in fight or flight mode. So singing actually tells your body you're safe, because you only sing when you're safe. So just to learn to start singing a tune or even humming when you start feeling things get out of order. And kids normally enjoy a good sing around. So just have a good fun here. Drawing and painting can be really, really soothing. Like, it's you might have heard this, like painting mandalas, coloring, or just free drawing might help you reconnect and slow down. And it's something, if everyone is kind of wired up in your house, just take everyone on the table and someone can have Play-Doh, someone gets colors, and the most important is that you sit down and do the same. So you start also getting that soothing energy. I find this particularly helpful in the winter when maybe going outside isn't always that tempting. Another really big one for me is books and cuddles. Like, I don't know, there's something about, like right now we're a lot outside in the hammock and reading books. In the winter we're on the couch. And then reading is always helping us. I think because we're so close, we're actually connecting. It helps us calm down. A good story, you can choose intentionally a book to pick up your mood. Like, choose your favorite book and everything will change. Really, it's emotional regulation. I do think it's so calming and soothing, and you get a whole new different feeling to continue in your day. And for me personally, it's a cup of tea. I would love to say, if you don't like tea, replace it with coffee, but I actually think it's not the same, because coffee has caffeine and there's a lot of more attached. So I'm not saying you shouldn't drink coffee. I personally don't drink coffee. I don't like it. But a cup of tea, just for me, brewing it, choosing a tea blend that I enjoy, like tea has so many different flavors, and then just literally sipping it slowly, helps me to reconnect when everything goes wrong. And it's always pretty much available to me. Of course, if you're outside, maybe not, but at home, it's available to you. So let's dive into the second part, which is actually nervous system regulation tools. Some of these tools, they're of course available to you, others you might need to learn. We start, I feel like I'm talking so much about that first one, which is deep breathing. When things get out of hand, what do they say? No matter where you are, at work, at home, just take 10 deep breaths. And I actually think I would go further and say, I have actually checked this a little bit, and 10 deep breaths is not enough for me. If everything feels derailed, I actually need 15 to 20. But deep breathing always helps. And to make it even easier, I would suggest to count, that you inhale either on 4 and exhale on 6, or inhale on a count of 6, exhaling of 8. Having that exhale a little bit longer than your inhale will calm down your nervous system. It's impossible to stay high wired, but of course you have to get a bit the count of breathing. Like 2 breaths won't do the job. So stick to it, breathe, and you can breathe with your kids around. You can breathe at work. So that one is always available to you, even with your kids around. And I think they just learn as well a very powerful tool. So it's even good to do it with your kids around. Another one is like praying or an intentional pause. And don't worry, I don't go religious on you. I'm not religious at all. But just to sit down and just think, please universe, God, please day, whatever you want to call it, just get me through this. Let's help me through this. I think it gives you in that moment or let me just get through the next 10 minutes, or just saying, what can I, kind of sweeping what if I could just change that? It's just something that helps you center, connect, and kind of choose the different path. Like you're on a crossroad, you can take a little moment, just say an affirmation. Maybe sometimes it's just an affirmation. For me, it's a very powerful one. When I feel overwhelmed, I'm going back to, I'm okay. I'm okay. Just, I'm okay, I'm safe. I'm okay, I'm safe. And that just helps me enough that I can actually choose a bit of a different path than going completely bananas. And another one, that's actually something you need to learn, but I love Reiki. I have done my Reiki masters, so it's something I'm also using a lot in my coaching and also at home. That says in Reiki you channel mostly energy through your hands, and that energy in your hands is available to everyone. So for that you don't need any Reiki or any certifications. And just literally you could rub your hands and you create heat and then put them on your body and start feeling just calmer and letting that energy come through you. So, and of course, if you're available when everything breaks, it's a meditation. So I have that really sometimes. I do have an emergency kind of meditation list, and I have said to my kids, I need now 5 minutes on my own where I close the door and meditate for 5 minutes. And really it needs to be short. So I can also invite you to check out the mini mom boost series that I'm creating, which is every week I'm putting out actually something about 2 to maximum 3 minutes to reset your nervous system and help you calm down, because I think it's so important. And if you're at home with your kids or you're busy at work or whatever, you don't have these 10, 15, 20 minutes. 5 minutes is probably at the limit, but I say 1 to 2 minutes, most of us have available if we really demand it. So, and then I said it before, with the dancing, shaking and micro movement can be something. Just some jumping jacks, shaking it out, jumping rope. Movement always discharges stress. If you get that in somehow, that's perfect. And it really works, particularly also if you're intentional. Another method is kind of name it to tame it method. It's like when you label your emotion, like I feel out of control. It helps you to take ownership. And then you can release it. Because I'm just giving an example when I'm feeling out of control and I feel like I start to get annoyed with my kids. It's barely about the kids. It's always about something else inside of me, and kind of just first labeling the emotion. It is, I realize very often this isn't about them or about the situation. There's something going on in me, something maybe triggered from my childhood. And then because I named it, I can choose to respond to it. And pretty much to accept and shift. You can just say, I feel frustrated. This is okay right now to feel frustrated. And then what's the opposite feeling, or can I let it go? Just literally having that conversation in your mind. I think for that one, you need to be a little bit calmer already. Maybe looking in retrospect, what happened there and how can you change this the next time. Mantras and affirmations, I have mentioned before with the prayers, but here I want to mention it just again because I do think mantras and affirmations are really, really powerful. And particularly the ones I already mentioned itself is like, I'm okay, I'm safe. I think they kind of ground you and bring you always really back. And if you're familiar, it's a really powerful tool, which is tapping or EFT. I love it as a tool, but it's nothing I use daily. I haven't gotten to the level where I would really tap whenever I start feeling stressed. I know others who do that, but I do think you can use that to really learn and regulate your nervous system. So, as I said, it's something, this was now a long list, and you can read it in the description below. And like I said, I have actually post-its in my house here and there to remind me of several tools when feelings getting too much. To remind me of the options, just like music. Just because something, even if you have an okay day, music can bring it from okay to the next level. So just put some post-its up. I gave you lots of tools, and it's not about using all of them. It's just, most of the time is remembering 1 or 2 that work for you, because all of us are a little bit different what we're responding to, not trying them out and just putting them in your toolbox more or less. And when you feel like you want something new, come back, check it out, and add something new. So we don't need to master them all. And it isn't about staying peaceful and calm all the time. It's about how to handle it and setting the example for our kids. With that, I want to let you go. I hope you have a wonderful day from one wildly rooted mama to another. Let's keep growing and glowing together.